Hey guys, last thing we're talking about, last main savings vehicle that we're going to be discussing is called certificates of deposit. So, what a certificate of deposit is an agreement between you and the bank. You agree to deposit um, this money with the bank and not touch it for a set period of time. Typically, the on the low end of certificates of deposit, the money is locked in for a year. Um, there are some that have 6 months and stuff, but don't provide much interest on those shorter term ones. But so it starts off with a year and then increases by a year or by a couple, some by like every 6 months. But it increases in increments up to, I think the largest I've seen is a 5 year CD. There may be larger ones out there, but typically it's 5 years, which means that if you sign up with a 5 year CD, you cannot touch that money for 5 years without penalty. If you decide that, hey, oh my goodness, in year three, I really need that money, you can't withdraw it from that 5 year CD, but you're going to be hit with a penalty for early withdrawal. And you really don't want to be just throwing money away with those penalties. So, unless you know you're not going to need this money for 5 years, don't sign up for a 5 year CD. Okay. Go with a smaller CD, maybe a year CD, right? So what does that mean with your money being locked up and you can't access it without penalty? Well, that's a restriction, an additional restriction that's being put on this account, which means the bank has a stronger guarantee that that money is going to be available for them to use for that period of time, which means they can loan it out. And so certificates of deposit typically get a little bit higher interest rate than your savings account do. This time is in the world is weird with extremely low interest rates, so it may not always hold true. But what you're typically going to find is if you open up a 1 year CD, you're going to have a higher interest rate on that 1 year CD than you will on your savings account because you're giving up access to it. Um, the relationship between time and CDs is typically the longer a period of time goes, the higher the interest rate on that CD will be. So a 5 year CD is likely to pay you higher interest rates than a 1 year CD. Okay. Um, One of the other aspects to CDs that you may find at some larger banks, like Bank of America or Wells Fargo, maybe Chase, um, is that to open a CD requires a higher minimum deposit. To open up a savings account or a checking account, you may need only $100 um, at these banks, but to open up a CD, you may need as much as $1,000. In some cases, $2,500 to open up a CD. And so it does tie up a lot more money. So only do this if you're not going to need the money for that period of time. Okay. Um, Keep that in mind. CDs are not for everyone. Okay, they are a very conservative way of savings, but you're limiting your access to that money. All right, guys, that pretty much covers everything I want y'all to take away from CDs. There will be a little bit of a assignment for y'all to do at a later point where y'all have to find a bank and identify the rates for all of these accounts. All right, guys, see y'all later.